Hello guys, it looks like they have a teaser for the new hero. And it's Ulmus or Ulmus. I have no clue how to pronounce it yet, but let's check it out together.
All received his kindness. He is the Grove Keeper, Ulmus.
Ulmus. So, it's a wilder, he's physical, and he's a tank. Okay, let's jump forward a bit.
Grandpa Ulmus has two different states in battle, both providing crucial protection to the team. When his health is good, he uses his ultimate skill, Ancient Tenacity, hammering the ground to knock down the target and nearby enemies.
So we kinda got a stun.
Barrier
Okay,
adds a
or immobilize.
shield to himself, and when it breaks, it deals damage to nearby enemies. Also, the skill Way of the Forest allows him to continuously recover a portion of his lost health. This is when Grandpa Ulmus becomes the protector, taking the hits at the front and shielding those behind him. But I know.
So he returns damage when they're attacking him with the shield, with this barrier.
Adds a shield to himself,
and then he has self-heal. That's really good.
Enemies. Also, the skill Way of the Forest allows him to continuously recover a portion of his lost health. This is when Grandpa Ulmus becomes the protector, taking the hits at the front and shielding those behind him.
But
okay.
I know he has another state. Sometimes
protects everyone. When his
But
health
he had
drops
two
below
different
a
states as
certain
well.
threshold for the first time, he returns to his initial tile and takes root, changing all his skills. In his rooted state, Grandpa Ulmus switches to a ranged attack form and becomes immune to all control effects. During this time, his ultimate, Ancient Tenacity, changes to throwing a boulder instead of hammering the ground, knocking down the target.
So it still looks like the two different modes or states or stands. So many different ways to say this. But once he goes back, it's still the same ability. Just that instead of smashing the ground, he throws a rock instead.
This is when Grandpa Ulmus gets really angry. Verdant Barrier will now shield the foremost ally instead of himself. Way of the Forest.
And he also gives a shield.
When
Good.
rooted, he recovers energy instead of health. Taking root allows Grandpa Ulmus to fall back and support other heroes, continuing the fight even with low health. So, Little Squirt allows Grandpa Ulmus to fall back and
Instead of recovering HP, he's recovering energy. That's interesting. That means if you run him with, like, for example, if he led in trials, if you run him together with Granny, and he's the main tanker or main tank in the beginning, and he takes enough damage, he jumps back and then throws his rock instead and shielding Granny.
so Little Squirrels.
Depending on how good that shield is, you could do some
Although
different
Grandpa
interesting
Ulmus has
stuff.
forgotten his age, he remains his skill, Prowling Roots, to sense the battlefield. When an enemy is knocked up, knocked down, or forcibly moved, Grandpa Ulmus uses his roots to entangle the target, extending their downtime and dealing damage. This control effect can trigger once every 4 seconds on the same enemy.
Grandpa Ulmus is so powerful.
4 seconds and use roots to sense.
That's really interesting. Wait, what? This effect can only affect the same enemy once every 10 seconds? Didn't you just say 4 seconds?
The battlefield. When an enemy forcibly moved, Grandpa Ulmus uses his roots to entangle the target, extending their downtime and dealing damage. This control effect can trigger once every 4 seconds on the same enemy.
Grandpa
Yeah,
Ulmus is
once every 4 seconds. Ulmus extends his roots to trap vulnerable enemies on the battlefield. Whenever an enemy target is knocked down, knocked into the air, or affected by other displacement effects, Ulmus binds the target to the ground, increasing the knockdown duration by 2 seconds and dealing 8% damage. This effect can only affect the same enemy once every 10 seconds. Where did he get the 4 seconds from? I mean, if it was every 4 seconds, that would be broken. you knock them down once, that means they will basically be permanently knocked down, depending on who's knocking them down and how long they knock them down. Do you have something else to show? Or is that it?
This control effect can trigger once every 4 seconds on the same enemy.
I wonder if they're talking about his other ability. Did they show it in here? They didn't. They're just showing his rooted stance. Or when he's rooted. That's so strange. Like, did I misinterpret what they were saying? Or please tell me in the comments if I'm misunderstanding this. Because that's so strange. They said 4 seconds the trailer, but here it says this effect can only affect the same enemy once every 10 seconds. It's so confusing when they're talking about so many different abilities at once.
This control effect can trigger once every 4 seconds on the same enemy.
Grandpa Ulmus is so powerful.
Grandpa can use
Yeah, but it looks like he can be really nice. Need to do some testing and see how strong he can be, but that looks really nice, to be honest. If you haven't invested heavily into Granny, then maybe Ulmus is the way to go now. Depends on how good he is. He might actually be a pretty decent AFK stage or stage clearer, considering that knocking down and rooting them and extending control effects. That's really good. I hope he's a strong boy. We already have a lot of good tanks right now, so it might be hard for free-to-play players to justify going in for a tank, because a lot of you probably already have like Thorin, Lucius, Temesia, maybe some even like Granny up, Antandra, Brutus. So it might be hard justifying going in on him as a rate-up hero. But that's a hard call. We just need to see how good he is when it comes out. And free-to-play players, don't start just clicking the rate up because you think he looks cool straight up. I mean, you could, but if you want to be optimal, wait for the testings. But that's it for this video. As always, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.